people who are being so distant.
I know we're back, and we have the battle of doctors. That's the bad thing about having two doctors in studio. They're still arguing even off him. Anyway, welcome back. We are still having this discussion with the Dr. Richard Bosire, political analyst and lecturer of political science. And we have got Wakili Kevin Katisya, who is a Wakili at the Advocate of the High Court, and as well as Dr. Bosire, Dr. Rotich, who is an economist by profession, but with a lot of bias to politics. Anyway, politics is politics. All right. Dr. Rotich, your final word on that issue.
There is something that I saw, Lord. The last question that was asked about, had the stone hit Right Honorable Raila, what would have happened? That there would be fire.
What if something bad happened? What if that stone hit him?
I think, the president's remark is actually 100% right. Because having the background of the last election, where after the disputed election of 2017, that led to the handshake, violence was everywhere in this country. More so in Nairobi, nothing was done because of that difference that it was between Right Honorable Raila Odinga and His Excellency the President after the election itself. So I think His Excellency actually talked based on that background, that had you hit the personality, the person of Raila, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, what would have happened? Fire would have sparkled. I think it is very true that something very bad would have happened, because the communities would have retaliated. I mean, those where Raila comes from would have said, now these people are attacking us. They would have taken as a whole community, not as goons or individuals who actually committed a crime. And that is something that we must be very clear on, even in the days to come. When a goons actually cause mayhem to anybody, they must be addressed directly as goons, as thieves, as criminals, not as communities. That is the only way we can be free from this tribal alienation or whatever. So that whenever you commit a mistake, you always refer to your own tribe as for protection. A criminal is a criminal, and that is that way.
Yeah.
So the issue that His Excellency actually remarked that it was going to initiate or rather spark a fire in this country or violence, it is actually very true. And we must ask Kenyans that we must tolerate one another. But I was not seeing politics in Eldoret, Bwana Olo, because this was a funeral. It was not a political meeting or rally. It was after the burial, when the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was leaving the stage, is when this thing was actually done. And it should be treated as individuals.
And actually, according to the story,
of those
Right Honorable Raila Odinga actually arrived late, even after the body had been taken to the graveside. So he just joined the family briefly. So when he was coming out, so somebody would ask, how quick was that?
No, let me tell you, I was also listening to the document that was there. Mandako himself was the one who escorted Raila in his own car.
He's the one who picked him.
He's the one who picked him. And he was expressing, saying, how could I have been the one picking Right Honorable Raila from where he was to where the burial was. And then he plans for whatever he could have planned. That is unthinkable. So, I mean, insinuating because these are the first people who also apologize. By apologizing, they were not apologizing on behalf of themselves. They were apologizing on behalf of the community, that we are not prone to this. Whatever happened to Right Honorable Raila was very unfortunate. And that should be taken that way, Bwana Olo, because politics also has its own toll. Because some people have taken it. Insinuating as if it also, the deputy president was among the planners, because these guys who actually did are mainly the support of His Excellency the deputy president. But that is not the case. It is something that was done by goons, criminals, who must be put to test by the court of law. And that should go that way. And Kenyans must be well aware that we are in politics.
Yes.
Anybody can say anything, and of course you take that one as a gospel truth.
Gentlemen, we all agree that we've been here and we saw what happened in 2007, quite fresh in most Kenyans' minds, that it all started like this and at some point it has to stop. Politicians should be allowed to traverse, because that's why we have got, election in the country. We are a democracy, and each and every politician should be given a chance to campaign in whichever part of the country they want to go to. Let them sell the manifesto and ideas and let them go home. If you don't have any business, the simple thing is go and do your business somewhere else. We all agree on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's talk about the issue of nomination. It is that month, and most politicians are now having, what do you call it, tumbo joto, because it is that month to determine who is going to fly the ticket and who is going to carry the ticket for the various political parties. Let me start with you, Wakili. Many candidates are now eyeing for that coveted ticket. And we've seen a lot of people now starting to say, not free and fair, not free and fair. We want this, we want that. What do you make of that? ODM has started giving direct nominations as we speak.
Yes.
Yes.
I think being a member of a political party is one of the rights of citizens. Yeah. And if, for example, somebody is a member of ODM, Jubilee, Wiper, or any other particular political party, they have that particular political party has the responsibility of ensuring that there is the rights of those members of the parties are protected. There must be fairness in how the party affairs are conducted. If, for example, on the issue of direct nomination,
yes,
and you have seen it being an issue in, is it Omabe, between Wanga and Kidero, for example. I've seen similar complaints in Mombasa between Shabal and Nasir. Yeah. The issue of direct nomination is an issue which is usually dealt by a party, because the party officials, the National Elections Board of a party,
yes,
also they have the right, yeah, to determine how the nominations are conducted. If they are convinced that or maybe they do a negotiation like what you saw, what the UDA has been doing, yeah, there's negotiation and people agree, okay, let's front this particular person. And I saw UDA doing that in Kinengo.
That's called consensus?
Consensus.
Right.
Yeah, that's called consensus. But if there are more than two people who have expressed interest for that particular ticket, like in Omabe, for example, you saw Kidero saying he paid for the nomination fee. Wanga did the same. We saw Badi withdrawing his candidature. Yeah, and Kidero was saying, no, I will go to ODM and ask them to refund me my nomination fee. Which
actually ODM started doing sometimes last week.
Yes. And I think every individual, every party has the right to ensure that nominations are done fairly. Yeah. If consensus does not work,
yes,
why can they then subject these people to nomination? That's the question. But now the other legal question will be, if I'm denied that ticket and the party has chosen this person, is there any avenue I have to seek remedy for that? That's the question. If you look at the Political Parties Act, which was amended the other day,
yes,
yeah, it does not clearly provide on what should be done in case somebody is aggrieved by the decision, yeah, of the party, because of course every party has their own appeals board.
Yes.
So the first thing you'll do is to appeal the decision from the appeals board. You go now to the Political Parties Tribunal, from there High Court, and of course it's a long process, considering there are deadlines which have been set by the IBC.
Yes.
Yeah, because if by is it 26th of April, yeah, and of course for independent candidates they have by up to 9th of May.
Yeah.
So some people are already making their decisions, say, okay, because of time and I can see my party is biased, let me rush to independent. So I think it is high time, all parties, and you saw the same thing in Kitui, for example, where the former governor was saying, Wiper should know that I am popular, they should give me a direct nomination. Of course, every individual is fighting for their interest. But as they fight for their interest, they should understand that other people also have rights to also get that ticket of that particular political party. I think it's a matter of political parties also having proper mechanisms and structures of ensuring free and fair nominations.
Yes.
Because you see, many parties, and somebody was telling me the reason why ODM in 2007 won so many seats is because people were being given tickets on merits. Because if, for example, you take somebody, you deny them a ticket because so-and-so has been very loyal, because those are the arguments which are being used. This person has been very loyal to the party.
Yes.
You must give them a direct nomination. They go to the ground. The person who has been famous was denied the ticket. They go to another party or they vie independent and they win. So I think it's also a choice for the party to also look at all these things. You have seen parties saying that they have been conducting opinion polls on the ground to determine who is the stronger candidate. And then now they use those polls to make a decision on who to give the ticket. I think as much as it is a discretion of the
party
or the parties.
Yes.
Also, the people have a role to play. You have seen before in nominations, there was what we are calling universal suffrage, whereby anybody was to vote. But now with the new law, you must be a member of that particular political party. And maybe somebody can see on the ground, I did not manage to register many people to our party. So chances are, maybe the opponent went to the ground and they registered people to the party. So chances are I may lose. So you go to the party officials, you negotiate with them, you are given the ticket. So it's a matter of trying to sanitize the affairs of political parties.
Yes.
It is not easy.
But as much as that is happening, Doctor, you've been quite involved in party structures and party nominations and negotiations here and there for quite some time. There is also something new as we approach elections.
Victor, I think our people, as Kenyan people, we should actually understand and perhaps appreciate that party democracy is critical to the growth of our democracy as a nation.
The party democracy?
Internal party democracy is critical to the growth of democracy in our nation. The way parties conduct their business, because parties are the lowest institutions or grassroots institutions that should inculcate democratic values in the membership and so to speak in the entire nation. If we get it wrong at the political party level, then we have lost it. What I'm trying to say is that there are incubators for democratic values and practices. Now, complaints, when there are complaints from people, I think they should be listened to, because sovereignty, again, according to our constitution, is actually embedded in the people themselves. It's the membership. The party is for the members, not for the elite, not for those who manage the parties. And therefore, members should be given a chance. In some places where there is no, as my brother here, Katisya said, where there is one candidate, makes no sense. Someone gets a ticket. But when you have 3-4 candidates, and you give it to one on the basis of perhaps loyalty, I think it's wrong. We saw what happened.
Which again is not prescribed in party policies.
They have put those things. They have put those things in their party rules, nomination rules, and they have been registered. Those rules are registered with the register of political parties, and they passed those laws just recently in Parliament, the amendments. So it is actually legal to do so. But the question is, do those decisions supersede the will of the people? Yet the Constitution rests, it's the people. It's the people. This democracy is about the people. It's not about those institutions. And one could wonder. And those are the issues that would be litigated even up to court, at the high court level, by people. With people coming up and saying, okay, there are these. Why did you choose this and not the other? This disadvantaged me. Why did you pursue it? Because people want, in some cases, like in Homa Bay, they wanted nomination. They want to go to the ground and have their nominations done. You can have a way out. Kidero could have a way out. But what message does it send? That if you are favorite then to the party on the basis of loyalty, perhaps loyalty alone, you are given. Is that democracy? Are we saying that democracy is about loyalty and loyalty alone? Loyalty matters. Party loyalty matters. Victor, party loyalty matters, but it should not be the highest in the rank of reasons why parties should make certain decisions. Another thing, Victor, is in some parties, political parties, if you are nominated in particular areas, you are as good as having been elected.
Exactly.
So the stakes are very high.
And that's why most of these candidates scramble for that coveted ticket.
If you get, for example, an ODM ticket in some areas, you might like 90% or 80 to 90%.
But is it necessary that way, more so when you go to the ground? Like when you have, you know, people now complain that the issue of Mombasa, for example,
yes.
Homa Bay County,
or Kisii.
Kisii, yes.
Yeah.
How does it affect the you know, the whole scenario in people's minds? That, okay, we gave Dr. Bosire direct nomination ticket, so it's now our turn to go to the ballot.
Yes.
How does it affect the common mwananchi's decision then?
It's two ways. Either if people agree,
yes,
or they could say, after all, okay, if they are a party, you know, this is why I say dominance of a particular party. If most of them are from that particular party, and they will finally say, okay, because he's from our party, let us vote for this person in the final election in August, and the person will pass. But in some cases, on the other side of the coin, if they resent to that, they vote to other people.
Yes.
In fact, it happened in, I'll say in Kisii, Gusii land, that's Kisii County and Nyamira, when ODM did not get a single MP in 2017 elections, until the by-election was done in Bonchari just recently, because people resented to
so it was like a
the nomination
vote.
processes.
Yes.
Yeah, nomination processes.
Yeah.
I want to say something, Victor. There should be fair action. After all, there should be fair action, and this fair action is protected by the law. Someone can litigate and say there's no fair action that was done, therefore they can go. Because I believe, I'm not a lawyer, my brother here would respond, that the Constitution still is supreme, and the written law is supreme to what they are doing on the ground.
Yes.
Someone can litigate on the basis of the Constitution and other laws that provide this protection. So, for instance, in Kisii, I wanted to say something in Kisii.
Right.
In Kisii, the one that has been given a ticket, people have a right to protest. Janet Ongera wanted to run for governor on ODM ticket.
Yes.
But they were outwitted by Simbarati. Simbarati is now the only candidate, so Simbarati could now get a nomination for ODM.
Okay.
Now, because of the bad blood, I could say, for lack of a better word, Janet, if she was subjected to the universal suffrage, members voting, she feared perhaps that she would not get the nomination, because she had already gone for governor position. She has retreated back to women representative, which other candidates had declared.
Yes.
And they started campaigning to be nominated as ODM candidates, and they have already marshaled support and registered members. Now, by getting that is a shot in the foot. It's the most painful thing in any given democracy to be done. So I think she must have feared and tried to influence the party that if those other people, Simbarati and others, campaigned on the ground because they're all ODM, then they might defeat her. She might not get the ticket, because some of those women rep who had already made formations, they are associated with the Simbarati and others, and therefore they have a big block of votes. They would have defeated her in the universal suffrage.
And actually,
so that fear. Now, when they say it's loyalty,
yes,
I think it's fear and influence. Fear then plus influence that Ongera has in the party, you know, for a long time. That gave the ticket, not necessarily popularity. And the science they talk about during you know, the opinion polls.
Perhaps, correct me if I'm wrong, the same thing happened in 2017. Honorable Ongwai was given direct ticket. Honorable Ongeri was also given direct ticket by ODM, and Ongera as well. In fact, people say it was a triple O in Gusii land.
Yeah, the three got, but you see,
popularity has to happen again.
Popularity changes. Ongwai is leaving.
Right.
Ongwai has done his 2 terms as governor. He has also tried, let me say not perhaps, but he has tried to wield influence in pointing at who will succeed him.
Okay.
In fact, in the beginning, he wanted Janet Orongeri to succeed him as governor, but it didn't work. So they are fighting actually from a lower position, because these people are leaving already, as you mentioned. Professor Ongeri has moved to DAPK. Why? Because he saw he could not get nominated on ODM. Simba is ahead of them. Janet now it jumped back to women rep, and she thinks she should also get the ticket and run. You can see the politics playing, the O's, maybe their time is up.
Let me bring in Dr. How free is free and fair nominations? I mean, this exercise, how free is, because already politicians are scrambling. And this is a discussion we've had here before, that a time will come that we'll see, you know, politicians now coming out of their shell and saying, no, it's not the way we thought it was. How free is free and fair nomination?
I think what we are experiencing, although as far as this horse trading or bringing on board these people, let us discuss, let us allow one candidate to proceed. Actually, what they are trying to do is to manage the fallout in the event of a disagreement, a disagreed election results. And you know, that one also will affect the party at the final election.
Yes.
And every party actually is eyeing to see that they minimize at most the disagreement that would be in the parties. And of course, managing also the election malpractices, especially in the court of law. And also having the limited time to the election period. It is something very difficult. And of course, we are also asking ourselves, how many of these parties are able to manage a credible election based on the kind of expertise, the scientific experience that all these parties may have actually experienced. So that is why we see all these things. But what I'm seeing, although, and that is my opinion, when you deny the universal suffrage, when you deny the people to vote for their rightful candidates, when you deny the people to determine who to be their leader, I think that, to me, it's an illegality, even if it is something that is negotiated. Because it is the people who will finally give the verdict. When you talk about giving depending on the polls results or whatever, you know, polls results, what we have at the moment or low, you are told that today, as per our polls, this one is rating high. And these pollsters are already business people, and they may not be relied genuinely that they are telling the people the right thing. And if you based on the same results by selecting or appointing somebody that is the right person because of the polls results, you'll be doing a lot of injustice to the majority of Kenyans. I think the best approach is to have these people elected by the people.
What if political parties just decide, you know what, we're not going to give direct nominations, either in some, you know, some special cases where there's only one candidate in one particular region. For example, what ODM did in Kakamega, some of the MPs who defected, you know, to ODM were given a direct ticket. Now that one, somebody would say, was warranted. But then in this scenario where we have got 3 or 4 candidates, I mean,
when you look at it, although like a Kakamega issue, you see there are those people who are in UDA and there are those people who are in ODM.
Exactly.
And this is a place where it is actually, the same seats will be hotly contested because the same parties have numbers in that place. So in this case, it is actually a strategy that these people are coming up, that if we have our 2 people competing, we may actually be defeated by the other guys. And of course, what we are trying to do is that let us have one person so that we can put all our resources actually in campaigning to that particular person to assure them of that seat. Because what the parties are now looking for is the number of seats that they will win in most of these places. Leave alone the presidential candidate who will win. But the number of seats that the individual parties will win at the final end is actually key to most of the, even this, the presidential contestants.
Right.
Because having numbers, even if let us say, for example, if say Ruto will win today in the coming election, and Raila will be having the highest numbers of the members of parliament, members of the county assembly, members of the Senate. There is nothing that the president will do. It will still be a stuck. So, and that is why most of these people, they want to not only to win by the party, but they also have to win by the membership or those people who are actually contesting in their respective parties. So election is key to me.
Election is key. You know what, Wakili? Parties know very well the outcome, and they're so much aware of the simmering kind of tension from the grassroots. They have given direct nomination certificates to different, preferred candidates, but the party officials and the committees know very well the outcome. How then do you think they're going to manage such kind of disquiet? Because we are likely to see protest vote, whatever happened in Migori County, for example, Governor Obado, who moved when he realized that it was not going to be okay in ODM, he moved to a different party. Yes. We are likely to see protest votes moving forward.
That is true.
Yes.
You know, I wish there was a clear law requiring political parties. Yeah, once more than 2 people have expressed interest in that party's ticket, then there must be a nomination. There is no clear law to that effect. Yeah, it is upon the party to determine when to conduct a nomination and when to give a direct ticket. And I agree with Dr. Bosire on what he has said about the people may decide to punish these particular political parties.
Yes.
However, there are some regions where people say we vote in a suit. Everybody must belong to that political party.
Yes.
And of course, the parties will take advantage of that and reward their loyalists. And also remember, political parties mostly are funded by their members. Some of these loyalists could be now the main funders of the
bankrolling the parties.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you tell the party now to give them a direct ticket, then the party will ask you, do you have the money to conduct that nomination? So I think for the sake of democracy, and as you have correctly said, people in the grassroots, there is a lot of dissatisfaction. People are saying, this is the person we wanted. What happened? And you remember also, in a particular region,
yes,
you may have an opponent, maybe somebody in another political party, who wants the dominant party in that region to nominate a weaker candidate. What will they do? They will take their people to vote for that weaker candidate. So that now the weaker candidate gets the party ticket. And then now they can face them off in the main election and they win. So I think the political atmosphere on the nomination of political party is a very complicated one, and it's an issue which many of these political players they have to be smart and outwit the other.
Yes.
It's very interesting on the issue of what is happening in Kisii, for example, and it happens a lot in all other regions, all the way from the MCA level to the presidential level.
Yes.
Yeah, you saw what happened with the Jimmy Wanjigi when it came to the ODM nomination.
Presidential.
For the presidential ticket. He was chased away. And he was claiming that he was a member of ODM. In fact, he was chased away in Migori when he was trying to open offices in Migori. Yeah, and nothing could be done, anything about that. Because Raila kept quiet about the whole issue of Wanjigi, and it just faded off. Yeah, so I think party democracy is very important. And I think it is high time, even apart from now the political parties amendment act which was enacted the other day,
yes,
there needs to be other regulations to regulate how parties conduct their affairs. Because if I, as a owner of ODM, for example, I say, this ticket I'll give to this person, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are those parties which embrace democracy, and they say, like inIketu where I come from, yeah. The former governor Malombe is asking for a direct ticket. No, he's been told, no, there's another person here, Ambassador Gema Kilonzo, who wants the same ticket. Let's go for the nomination. And it is high time that the leaders of those particular political parties must ensure that there is democracy in the management of the party affairs. So in my opinion, I think going forward, you may have a scenario whereby in a particular region, people will vote on basis of who they want.
Yes.
You can vote for a president of Azimio or Kenya Kwanza, vote for an MP of Safina, vote for an MCA of Independent.
Yes.
And you saw in 2017.
It goes back to personality, not parties now.
It goes back to personality.
Yeah.
And actually, that is what many people are even saying. When you come to urban areas like Nairobi and those other towns, you may find out that people don't vote based on parties. But now in the rural areas, and I think people are beginning to wake up and they are voting for their own. And this idea of independent is an idea which has been bought by so many people. Somebody like Kinengo can say, I'm not opposed to Raila.
Okay.
But since I missed the ticket, I'm independent, supporting Raila. And he may end up winning the seat.
Okay, you know what? Yes. When you see my director on the floor, it shows a lot. When you see my director on the floor, it shows a lot. Okay, Dr. As you respond to that, let me ask you this question again. We are likely to see a lot of independent candidates come August, based on what's happening on the nominations right now, right?
Yes. Actually, the law the law, the amendment bill
has given them that freedom.
Yeah, it has given them freedom. It has a period within which, is it 3 months? You can, after nomination, you can jump into independent. Yeah, you know, and it's going to happen. And what will chase people into the independent candidate's position is actually nominations.
Yes.
Nothing else. If nominations are not properly done, those who are dissatisfied, they remove to independent. Some of them will win. And perhaps if they are popular candidates, then we shall see so many independents in parliament, which is another dilemma.
That's another dilemma. Legislation.
To govern on that basis. I want to mention something. Party capacity to manage their own nomination processes. I think they should, a party like ODM has been alive for quite a while.
For 17 years.
KANU has been alive since independence, or prior to independence. Why these parties cannot do free and fair nominations or build capacity to do their nominations? That one I don't understand. And you're not doing the nominations one single day across the country.
Yeah.
So you can stagger it and do within certain regions within a particular time. And it can be properly done. And this capacity is there. Government, for example, my brother here, Katisya, talked about funding. The funders of the parties, we agree, but parties are also receiving funding from the public coffers. We have public funding of political parties. The aim of funding political parties from the public coffers is actually to make sure that the parties are depersonalized.
Yes.
They're not people's property in their pockets.
It's a national institution.
They have the office, they pay their rent, they do everything, they fund all those activities. And now, as we speak, nominations are very expensive. Nomination fees are high. They can use those resources to be able to conduct nominations where there are contentions, so that they can have proper nomination. So they shouldn't actually give tickets. Parties should not give tickets for people who have funded heavily the parties, because then democracy is for the highest bidder. And then that is how we lose it. When these people go to parliament, are they going to represent the people, or are they going to represent party leaders who have given them the tickets? Personality politics actually undermines, I would say, personal politics undermines strengthening of political parties, which is the thing that we expect to happen progressively. By now, since perhaps 2002, 20 years ago, our parties should be stronger to be able to do nominations above board. They should be able to have developed systems of accountability and all that. Now we demand, or the law demands, that nominations are done by people, members registered, because they have deposited their registers with the registrar of political parties. They should be able to have their own members participate. So there should be no fear. It's internal party democracy, internal party nominations. No one from another party is going to vote, for example, in ODM. The ground has been done, the laws are there, but I think the players are the ones who have refused.
You know what, gentlemen? The same way you are, please. We'll have this discussion next week on Monday, because a lot is going to happen this week and we're going to see more. The same way, the same setup. Promise me that you will be here with me on Monday. All right. Thank you so much. We're speaking to Dr. Richard Bosire, lecturer at the University of Nairobi, political science and a political commentator. We have got Wakili Kevin Katisya joining us for the first time. Promise we'll be back again.
I'll be back again.
Asante sana. And Dr. Joseph Rotich, who is also with us here every single morning. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
There was, I'm sorry, gender parity. I didn't balance that. I promise to do it next time. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.